I can't vouch for whatever the caption is by the user, but this is the video. So she's like confronting Jews. I am not afraid. She's not afraid of Jews. Wait, I don't know if I want to look at your face.
I am not afraid.
Ugh.
Put my face on camera.
And there's like, you know, like a drum circle going on behind her. No one's paying attention to her. She's just begging for someone to persecute her.
Show my face. Stop me.
Ugh.
Dox me? I think this is one of the most watched American drum circles unintentionally in history. I mean, it looks like Nazi Germany behind her.
She's next to a sign saying Jews for a free Palestine.
Yeah.
So it doesn't clue into her that no one cares that she's Jewish or not. People are there to protest a genocide. And, you know, honestly, it wouldn't be worth making fun of if she was just one individual person. But she's, as you were talking about before, it's like this is emblematic of what Zionism is. People committing the longest running military occupation in the world, now committing mass murder to enforce it. And they present themselves constantly as the victims, as persecuted. And they really think that hostility to them has anything to do with them being Jewish and them not being the representative of a Jewish supremacist state that is mass murdering that land's indigenous population. It's just they can't process that.
I mean, just imagine if you've never met a Jew before, or like you're from a foreign country where there are no Jews and you don't know that like there are tons of Jewish anti-Zionists. There are many Jews who just are indifferent to the whole thing, just want to go about their lives. You're not part of like the American urban social tapestry.
Yeah.
And you see this, you're not going to like Jews very much. You're going to think ill of them. And that's what Zionists aim to do. They aim to promote anti-Semitism because anti-Semitism is the fuel of Zionism and the justification for the completely discredited lie that Israel is a sanctuary for Jews. It's all they've got. Her husband promoted this video. The video came out through her husband's account on Twitter. He said he was so proud of his wife to go down there and confront everyone and show that she's a proud Jew. And I'm just like, why would you be proud of your wife engaging in such a cringeworthy stunt? Your wife needs to be taken away and put on a ketamine drip for a few weeks. Like, this is mentally this is disordered behavior, and it's symptomatic of Zionism, which is just becoming a mental disorder, because you have to flip reality completely on its head in order to continue to maintain Zionism as a central pole of your identity. You can see just right to her left are a group of Jews who've decided they're going to square the contradiction. They're not going to be Zionists anymore because it doesn't fit in with their sense of humanity.
It really is a mental disorder, and it's unfortunately very widespread inside the Jewish community, especially in North America. You know, I know people who still think that there's a problem of anti-Semitism right now, and they cannot connect it to the genocide being going on and the impunity that Israel has, and they still see of themselves as a victim. And I see that as a disorder, and it's hard to know how to respond to it, because it doesn't, no amount of logic or facts can appeal to these people. It's an emotional issue where nothing can reach them. I don't know what to do about it, except to shun them, except to like ignore them basically, and not interact with them. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's very strange. Very strange.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do that, and you know, if you're fortunate enough to be Jewish and not have them in your immediate family, you can do that. Otherwise, it causes real disruption psychologically, emotionally, and just in your life. That's what I think a lot of the Jewish students on these campuses who are anti-Zionists are dealing with. And a lot of them are wearing masks for that reason. I mean, I haven't gone out and asked people why they're wearing masks outdoors.
That's why.
It's weird, but you know, for a lot of the Jewish protesters, it's to avoid having to be confronted by their own families. You know, we live in a kind of the perfect dictatorship where social pressure can actually force people into political conformism or into just kind of staying home.
Yeah. It works so perfectly because there's no one decreeing what to do, what to say, but yet so many people fall in line and the Israel lobby is so good at exploiting that. Just the threat of calling people anti-Semitic or self-hating Jew, and then the tens of millions of dollars they spend to defeat lawmakers who don't toe the line and to elect those who do. All that works really well to keep people in line.
Right. So in some ways, the N95 mask or surgical mask has given a lot of people the freedom to be out in the streets and to free themselves from the peer pressure, social consequences, enforced conformism. And those who say this is about like safety from COVID or something, I mean, I'm not even going to get into that, but they should consider how their universities could be locked down at any second with a much better or much more, and how they accept the justification for shutting down universities, which would shut down all of these protests immediately. That was authoritarian. It did enormous damage to students. And I was concerned that those lockdowns create the context for locking down all protest. And we will see it in the future. I can pretty much guarantee that. We can go back and play me saying this in a few years when it happens. Because it's hitting the fan right now. Biden is losing control of the country. It's not just the campuses. It's, you know, airports are being shut down. Highways are being shut down. we've been saying here at the Grayzone from the beginning that the Democratic National Convention is going to make 1968 look like a Shriners parade or a suburban housewives coffee clatch or Tupperware party. It's not going to be pretty for Biden, and it's all his fault for refusing to impose a ceasefire on a client state. So how are they going to shut it down? And where's it going to stop? They shut it down they shut Black Lives, they kind of controlled Black Lives Matter by kind of foundationizing it. And then it was used towards the end after it kind of flamed out as just a means of creating chaos in the swing states where and just creating chaos under Trump. It was sort of tolerated. But
it was used for Biden's re-election campaign. That's why MSNBC promoted it. It was used, it was used to get out the vote for Biden.
100%. But COVID was also used in a way. It prevented the campaign from ever taking place, which benefited Biden because he's basically incapable of performing the duties of a candidate or a president. So he campaigned from his basement, and then it allowed for all of the ballots to come in, the mail-in ballots. And Trump was leading on election night until late in the evening. And then all the mail-in ballots came in, and then Trump lost. Biden won with a surge of mail-in ballots, which created the sense among Trump voters that the election had been rigged. And then they had January 6th, and that allowed, I'm not saying that it was all staged to do this, but January 6th created the justification for the federal government to shut down Washington, D.C. and allow Biden to have an inauguration without any protest by fencing off the entire inauguration. No one was able to attend. It was unprecedented. So I think these students who are out there need to examine what happened over the past few years and how it can be used against them. And I think the right-wingers who are just mocking them for wearing masks need to understand why they're doing it. It's not just about COVID. It's also about facial recognition technology and all the new anti-protest laws. So yeah, we're going to see this expand this summer. It's going to be a long, hot summer for Biden. And I really don't see, Aaron, I don't really see a ceasefire coming.
No, I don't either. And the latest indication of that is Biden just signing into law a new $95 billion war funding bill, including $26 billion, I think, for Israel. Overwhelming support from the Senate, a bit more opposition in the House, but still not that much. And that is a down payment for more genocide. That's a show of support. And practically, we've seen Biden change nothing in his policy whatsoever. He talked before about Rafah being a red line, but now they're helping Israel strategize on how to invade Rafah.
Yep.
It's all the exact same.